I sure hate to interrupt you all, but we got a cold damn blizzard that's hot on our ass that we're trying to beat to shelter.
She must be hot.
The Morning Stream. 2 weeks? There's no such thing as 2 weeks in the news business.
Hey everybody, welcome to TMS. It is the morning stream for March 18th, 2025. I'm Scott Johnson. That's Brian Ibbett. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning,
everybody.
Hey, if you're not here early to see the stream, or if you don't support our Patreon, you missed out on a really deep dive.
Great discussion about iPods and show and tell of sorts with me and talking about what my plan is for my massive iPod collection.
It's a really cool project, though. You should do it.
It is, and I had a Gen 1 and I gave it to my dad when I upgraded to the Gen 2, and he doesn't have it anymore. I don't know what happened to it. And then I also had the one that had the 4. Do I still have that one? Hold on a second.
Never give stuff to your dad. That's the lesson.
I know. And then I had the model that had the 4 buttons just under the screen that would light up with red, so you could pause and play and stuff.
Second gen, I think, right? Second gen on that one, I believe.
I think that was third gen. I think
third gen.
Well, or there were 2 models of first gen. One that had a moving slidey wheel, and then the second version of the first gen had a non-slidey wheel. Or is it?
I can't remember.
Or was that first and second gen?
There was something. There was something touchy. The one that had the 4 buttons up top plus the wheel.
Yeah.
The wheel didn't click. It was like a touch wheel, but it wasn't
a touch wheel.
Wasn't the same as the later wheels, which were so cool. I forget what those are. What they call that?
I think it's called a touch wheel.
Is that all it said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that one I remember. That's the one I heard. The audiobooks I've listened to like 5 times over. That's the device I had
all
for
on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Early podcast too. That's like the one I had for all that stuff. Well, anyway,
if you enjoyed the last minute, go listen to the Patreon pre-show where you get 20 minutes of that.
That's right. But now that you're here, I want to get philosophical.
Okay.
I heard somebody yesterday say, the original question, actually, I don't remember, but it doesn't matter. You could say something like, hey, I'm going to be late. And the person will say, how come?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it hit me like a brick. What does that even mean?
Right. Who put those words together to mean why?
Yeah, because you mean why. We know what you mean when you say it, right? We know you mean why are you going to be late?
Yeah.
But we don't understand. I do not and will not understand how come has either of those words has zero connection to why.
Is that a shortening of how did that come about?
I don't know. I tried to find it. Nothing came up like that.
How did that come about?
Yeah.
I don't know.
See, and that you could say that about something more like I crashed. My car lost its left rear tire. Oh, how did that come about? Like that would make sense to me. So you can say, how come? Sure, we're getting closer to the truth. But when it's
more. Well, yeah, that would make more sense than, oh, I can't make it to dinner tomorrow night. Oh no, how come?
Yeah,
like I can't make it dinner tonight. Oh no, how did that come about?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. You're right. Yeah.
So what have we done as a English speaking population to say that? And I can't find good etymology. Not entomology, which would be bugs.
Unless bugs were saying it.
Yeah. I couldn't find it.
Begin saying that.
I couldn't find it, what it is. And you could even ask the question, Fastidious just did, how come you ask? Like, it sounds right because we're all used to saying it and hearing it, but when you really think about it, it doesn't make any damn sense at all.
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. How come?
Yeah. How come we use how come? Exactly.
Or you say it, the dumber it sounds. Like,
yeah.
Oh, how come?
So I'm going to try, maybe it's just because any other way of saying it is, well, no, why is short.
Yeah. It's not like it's a...
You know what? Maybe that's it. Maybe it's when you say why, you put the person under the light a little bit and they have to go, oh, well, here's why. They have to explain themselves. When you say how come, it takes it off of them and onto whatever the circumstances were that caused the delay. And so when you're saying how come, you're saying, you're letting them off the hook a little bit. If you say why, so imagine me saying I'm going to be late, and then someone says why. That feels like I'm on the spot now. But if they say how come, I don't know why, but that lets you loose a little to say, well, softer. My schedule and my stuff. Exactly, it's softer. So maybe that's it. It's still weird. I don't get it.
And Amy confirmed. Actually, Nicole says the phrase "how come" originated in English as a shortened version of "how did it come about" or "how comes it." How comes it? Jesus, let's bring back "how comes it" and just see how long that lasts.
My garage door broke. How comes it?
Exactly.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. This is kind of one of those times, just because of the words involved. Maybe it's okay that Claire is coming a little bit late to chat this morning.
Oh yeah, I'm glad she's wherever she is.
The whole how come discussion just might be too much.
Yeah, we know right where she'd be with this.
Yes.
There's no question in my mind.
We're not saying we don't want her in the chat, but maybe in this case, it's a good thing she's late.
Yeah, come when you're ready. Wait a minute, that all sounds bad.
But yeah, no, that makes sense. Like how come is a lot more gentle than why, but even at the time, the word why had already been invented. So how did that come about? It just feels like we're all going out to dinner tonight. Oh, really? To whence are we traveling?
Yeah, to whence.
Instead of where?
Cometh how that did about.
Yes, right. Exactly.
That's what I'm going to start saying.
Whence is time, not or locate. Is it location? Whence?
Whence is location.
Whence is location.
Yeah.
Yes.
So from whence you came is where you came from.
Right. From where you came. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So how come? No. From whence? How cometh thee? There you go.
How cometh? Never mind.
I'll take you to Claire territory again.
They really are. It's kind of easy to go there. I see the traction.
That's true. Also, I found this. I don't know why I got so philosophical yesterday, but I found another thing that blew my mind a little bit. And Brian, I'm going to test you first, and then we're going to find out the answer.
Okay.
The Grand Canyon, right? You're familiar with it?
Very familiar. Been there.
Yeah, been there a couple times myself. Bunch of times actually.
Grandfather rented my paternal grandfather rented a plane or booked a flight thing where we flew into the Grand Canyon.
Oh,
when I was
cool.
like 13 or 12 or something.
Oh, that's badass. I never did that. That's
no,
cool.
It was 15. It was the same trip where I went to Vegas for the first time and sat on the little concrete clown shit at Circus. I have a photo of it. I found that the other day. I got to share that one.
That's wild.
But 15-year-old Brian sitting on clown shit at Circus.
And they've never updated it since. That place is...
They've never... No, the stuff you could sit on and the fountains in the front. There used to be fountains in the front. And all
yeah, I forgot about
all
that.
All gone.
Yeah.
I think it's now Slots of Fun. The dying hellhole from whence you will never reemerge. Yeah. If you go to Slots of Fun.
Yeah, that place is crazy.
Hotel California.
It's crazy that still sits the way it sits there. I just don't
really
get
is.
it.
Yeah.
All these other ones that are way better hotel casinos get torn down all the time. For some reason, that thing's just like, nope. We're here.
I know.
We got these clowns. When the lights or when the sun goes down, one of the eyes isn't lit up. Half the clown face is effed. It's like this place smells like cigarettes and death. It's just terrible.
The disappointing amusement park in the back of it that's successfully disappointing to both adults and children.
Yeah,
it manages that impossible feat of being both non-entertaining to adults or children.
Yeah, somehow it puts a foot in each of those categories. But
I think it's the fact that it's probably treated like a indigenous people burial ground where. Like Poltergeist, we could rip down the Circus and you could put your new hotel there. Oh no, not touching that territory.
Mm-mm. You don't want to get haunted for the next 30 years or whatever the curse is.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
By clowns, no less.
By clowns. Ooh. All right, anyway.
Grand Canyon. We both been.
Yes.
Now, there was this question posed on a TikTok video I saw that said, if all 8 billion plus of us humans were to be around the rim, if this was possible, so you have to kind of put your head in the possibility range here, but if it were possible for all of us to surround the very edge of the Grand Canyon, all 8 billion of us, and we all peed into the Grand Canyon,
Okay.
8 billion people. Would that fill the Grand Canyon full of pee? And let's also pretend that the Grand Canyon is not porous. It is literally, let's say it's just a smooth.
It's like a Tupperware bowl, basically, is what we're saying.
Yes.
And we're also saying that women have that plastic device that they can straddle that
yes.
That allows them to control the direction, like basically like pee like dudes, where they can write their name in the snow.
My friend Katie said that she could do it like a dude, and we didn't believe her. And she proved it in some snow. Basically, she had a way
of. She didn't have to walk around?
No, she had a way of standing. I don't know what she was actually doing because we were the other way, not looking, because we didn't feel good about looking at Katie's junk or anything. But Katie was like, could do something with her hand that made it so she could get a little stream going. And it was pretty wild. So let's assume they're all like Katie. They can all do that.
Did she spell her name letter K, letter T?
No, she did.
Wow, she actually spelled out Katy.
I don't remember what she did now that you say it. May have been just Katie. Or maybe just K. Maybe that's all we did. This is
that's impressive.
It was like high school or just after. It was all stupid.
It's got to be like trying to control the claw machine to pick up a stuffed Elmo.
Exactly. That thing's designed. The house always wins, right?
Exactly.
So,
all right. So
anyway,
8 billion people on either side of the Grand Canyon. We're all peeing in there.
Yeah, it's a lot of people.
Welcome to Morning Stream, everybody.
Yeah, and you've got everybody's got a full bladder. You're all peeing into this thing. Do you think it would fill the Grand Canyon?
I'd say a quarter of us are pee shy, by the way. But let's say nobody's pee shy.
Nobody's pee shy. Everybody's got it ready to go. Big strong stream, big full bladders. 8 billion. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. You have to figure out a way to get 8 billion people around. I feel like you're not getting 8 billion people around the rim is going to be the toughest part of that. Like you might need to build some bleachers, vertical bleachers that people could stand on.
Well, logistically, the assumption is that that works. Like we don't have to think too hard about that. Like if you could successfully get them in,
right.
They're all peeing into it.
Volume.
Yeah, can it fill the thing?
All right. Wow. Ambassador Doma, where did you find this data? The Grand Canyon can hold about 1.2 quadrillion gallons of liquid. All right. So divide that by 8 billion, and that seems there's no way then that we could fill that. We are not filling 8 billion people are not filling 1.2 quadrillion gallons of Grand Canyon space.
All right, let's see if you and with the help of Domo are correct. We're going to hit play here and we're going to watch this video. These people are all peeing. All right, so here we go.
Actually, there's the video.
If everyone on Earth peed into the Grand Canyon, you might think it would fill up in less than a day. But the Grand Canyon can hold about 1.2 quadrillion gallons, and the average person pees about half a gallon a day. So if all 8 billion people peed at the same time, they'd only add about 4 billion gallons of pee. At that rate, it would take over 800,000 years of constant peeing to fill it up.
I'm sorry, what was the number?
800,000 years.
Where'd it go? Yeah.
Isn't that what he said? 800,000 years?
I think you're right. There it is. 800,000 years to fill that thing up. Everybody peeing all the time, nonstop, 8 billion of you. Now, I would have said if you'd have asked me, that wouldn't fill it up. But I didn't think it would take 800,000 years.
Yeah, that's insane. Wow. Awesome. Thank you, a disgusting version of Mo Rocca.
It does sound like it. Well, anyway, I like dumb stuff like that. It's a good time.
Wow, yeah. Now, poo, on the other hand. No.
Now, if you're all taking a big dump in there, it'd be done by 2 o'clock. All right. Check this out. We got a call from a Brit in Texas, and I haven't heard this yet, so all I know is the description says that, so let's see if I was right. Here you go.
Hello, me lads. This is Tommy Radcliffe from the grand old state of Texas, though at heart, I fancy myself a proper Brit. Now, I might not be sipping a cuppa with the Queen, rest her soul, but I do reckon I've got enough British lingo to have a chinwag with the best of them. Now, I was listening to the morning stream while stuck in a proper faff of traffic. Absolute nightmare, mate. Felt like I was queuing on the M25, except instead of lorries and double-deckers, it was pickup trucks and a bloke on a horse. No joke, just trotting along like it's 1893. Any road, I just wanted to say, you lot are the dog's bollocks, proper top notch. So cheers for keeping me entertained while I dodge armadillos and existential dread. Right, I'm off to make a brew and contemplate why Americans can't grasp the concept of a proper biscuit. Toodaloo.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh my God, that whole thing was gold. That was absolutely gold. Like the whole, it's like listening to Squeeze's Cool for Cats, where you don't understand 3/4 of the stuff they're singing about, but you just love hearing them talking about it.
Oh, yeah. And my question I'm left with a little bit, I have a sneaking suspicion. Well, I don't know this. I'm 50% this is an actual Brit who's here in the States, or this is a really, really good impression.
Oh, could be.
Of that accent. Right. And I can't tell which, because he doesn't really, get into it. I don't know if he's being cheeky.
Show us the birth certificate.
Yeah.
Give us a birth certificate.
That's right. We're birthers on this guy. That's pretty great, though. And if he is a Brit, if he is a transplant, and he's here in Texas, that's an odd juxtaposition. I'd just be curious what he's doing there.
Gosh, yeah. Talk about going from one culture to maybe the strongest culture in the U.S. that has its own system. Like Seattle, you go to Seattle, it's like, all right, it's kind of cool. Like it wouldn't feel as not dichotomy. Like it's not like it's opposite ends of the spectrum. But you go to Texas. Texas has a very strong personality.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good way of putting it. Absolutely. Yeah. But also it could be. I mean, if he's in Austin, that's also its own weird offshoot.
That's true. Yeah. Austin is the little oasis in the big oasis that is Texas in the U.S.
Yeah. Like they always talk about. Texans are always saying, "Oh, the secede from the Union," and I'm like, "Yeah, but what are you going to do with Austin? They don't want to go."
Right.
You're just gonna leave them there, and you guys go do your own thing, and then just cordon off the middle bit or the part with that part that's Austin, and then just live on their own and be part of the state still. Like
it's like the little Vatican City in the middle of Italy.
Yeah, yeah, that's how it feels sometimes. But
it totally is. Yeah.
Anyway, now I want to know all about your story, there, British man. So.
Tommy White Castle? What was it?
I'll play the top again.
Hello, me lads. This is Tommy Radcliffe from the
Radcliffe.
Whitecliffe?
Radcliffe or Radcliffe? Radcliffe, like the Harry,
like Daniel.
Harry Peter, yeah. Like that guy.
Gotcha.
Well, thanks for that. We appreciate that. Senior Geek on the line. Got something to say about being tall. He's a tall guy.
He's a tall guy.
Yeah, we've seen him up close. We know this is true, so we're going to see what he has to say.
Hey, S&B. This is Gary, the Senior Geek. Scott, last week you were talking about a shopkeeper that kept telling you were too tall. Reminded me of a time in my early 20s and the early 70s. I had long brown hair, and I pulled into my bank parking lot to deposit my paycheck, and I reached over into my glove compartment to get my bank book, and as I was getting out of my car, I saw a policeman with his hand on his gun, and he looks at me and says, "You're too tall." And I didn't really know how to react to that. But then he said, "No, somebody knocked over a liquor store not far from here that meets your description." Oh. I suspect long brown hair is the description. And, but he said he was much shorter than you. And he took his hand off his gun, got back in his car, and left. So that was exciting.
Yeah, it is. That's crazy, man.
No kidding.
That happened to me with the jogging around the school that one time. It was before we had moved, but the cop pulls me over, asks me a bunch of questions. And I was like, what is going on here? And at the end, he says, "Well, you're okay." I'm like, what does that mean? And he goes, "You're fine. You're not the guy. There's been a guy around the school, and he's been hanging around, and there was some talk that he was wearing shorts, and he was maybe looked like he was jogging, but really was like being creepy at the school." I said, "That is 100% not me. I've been over here. I'm not near the school."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, I know. That guy's was reported to be like 300 pounds. And I'm like, well, you'd think you could you'd have seen that just at glancing at me, that I'm not the 300-pound guy people saw over there.
Yeah.
I was probably 180 at the time. What are you doing?
Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
Wow.
It can happen. Brian.
I was worried yesterday. So I did my this is a good hopefully we'll get a recording from Jerry Tolbert, by the way. Had my physical yesterday, and didn't get jelly fingers because they're going to do my labs, and he says, "Yeah, actually we can now tell because of a protein in your blood how enlarged or if there's any problem with your prostate, we can tell because of the presence of a of a protein in your.
Oh,
in
they
your
don't
blood.
need
I'm
to
like,
do the finger
cool.
dinger anymore. That's great.
Not this guy, no. Which this guy had big fingers, so I was really glad of that.
big,
like meat hooks
big
on this
hairy
dude.
knuckled gorilla hands. Yeah.
Dude looked a little bit like Seth Rogen without all the. Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, you take your pants down.
I wasn't smoking weed all afternoon or anything. So,
Right, exactly.
Good doctor.
Anyway, so we talked a little bit about the sleep issues that I'm having, that you have a little bit. That, sometimes I wake up 2:00 in the morning, takes me forever to get back to sleep. Try the meditation thing, try the breathing exercises, try that little flex deal where you start at your toes and work your way up your body, flexing to kind of relax yourself. And he says, so I'm going to recommend melatonin. And I said, wait a minute, doctor. This is like, where it turns into that infomercial. Wait a minute, doc. I thought that if you took melatonin, you'd start teaching your body not to produce it. He's like, there's no conclusive studies on that, which surprised me. This is why I want Jerry Tolbert to chime in, that your melatonin production is still going to be based on circadian rhythms. And when it gets dark, your body, when there's no sunlight, your body starts producing melatonin, regardless of if you take it or not. So he says, but he tells me, don't, go to the store after this, pick up 1 milligram melatonin. Don't get the 5, don't get, anything larger than that. Take, just try 1. So if you wake up in the middle of the night, do 1, and then you may not be groggy. Like, document, see how it goes. Maybe even, and then he even said you could try taking it. I know you're not having a problem falling asleep, but maybe try taking it before you go to bed, and that still might help you. So right after the doctor's appointment, I went over to the CVS in Target now. Didn't know those CVSs were in Target, but they are now. And the only way you can get 1 milligram melatonin is in kids chewable gummies. So here's a guy alone, no kids with him, buying a package of stuff to make kids fall asleep, going through the checkout line of Target, and I'm feeling like, yeah, I'm on some list.
Yeah, that's great. That's like a 16-year-old getting a package of Trojans and going through the line.
Right, exactly.
Just the opposite, I guess.
Just means trouble. Yeah, exactly.
So did you try it last night? Did it do anything for you?
I did, and I slept all the way until 4:45, which is long for me. It's a longer sleep than I usually get.
Because melatonin does jack shit for me. I think I'm just like, I don't know what my problem is with that stuff. It doesn't do anything for me. It's like I didn't take a thing when I try it. So maybe I need to be more consistent about it.
See what milligram dosage you've got, and maybe you've only got the 1 milligram thing.
Now mine are definitely 5. They're gummy form, and they're like 5 of those, I think. I'll take 2 sometimes. So I'll even just overload on the shit. And then it's just the same pattern every night. So I kind of quit doing them because they weren't doing anything for me. But Dr. Tolbert, the ball's in your court. You call in. We want one of your calls. Where you explain this business to us, okay? So,
I want a second opinion.
Yeah. Yours is the only opinion we care about. Listen, this dude solved an issue for me. The last, 2-3 months, I was getting this like weird, I wouldn't call it like necessarily like a breakout, but like this weird stuff on my cheeks and up here where it would just kind of flare up, get red, a little zitty, but not terrible, but it would stay kind of red and hot and almost like an allergic reaction, but I haven't.
Like hives or that sort of thing. Yeah. How long would they last?
They would last. For the last few months, they just never went away. It just stayed and stayed and stayed. And so there were times on the show you'd never notice this on the show because before I left, Kim's like, "Oh, that looks bad. Come here," and she'd put a little makeup on there to hide it. So what I did is I reached out. I reached out to him and he said, "Well, there's these 2 over-the-counter creams. Dude, here's the routine you do with it. Try it for a few days, see how it goes. If it doesn't improve, you may want to go to a dermatologist." So I did that, and it cleared it up. It's gone. Done. Out. Finished.
Okay. All right.
You know how unoften that is for me where somebody's solution works?
Exactly. Like, it's so much easier or so much more common for say, that we tried it, didn't work. Nope, that thing didn't work.
And the best part of Tolbert is I didn't have a copay. I didn't have to fill out a bunch of paperwork. Right. I didn't have to deal with his freaking receptionist lady. I didn't have to do any of those things. I mean, I'm not trying to, I'm very appreciative for his advice. It's just simple advice, friend to friend or whatever.
Sure.
So
of course,
whoever regulates this stuff, calm down, keep your lawyers to yourselves. But the point is, Jerry had the right, he knew right away. He goes, what's it look like? I said, well, here's a picture. I found a picture online of kind of what it looked like. He says, oh yeah, that sounds like whatever he said, the name of the thing. He says, here, just try these two things. Do it for about 3 days. Worked. Bing.
That's
done.
awesome.
Yep. I'm so happy because now I can go to Vegas without looking like I'm 16,
or have pancake makeup on.
Yeah, either one sucks. I don't want either of those things.
Neither of those is a good plan.
Yeah.
It also means that he's also, because it's free advice, he's also not constrained. If anything goes wrong, we can't sue him because we didn't pay him for advice. So.
No, there's been no, and plus I just told the story. I just told the story, which means no confidentiality stuff either. I just HIPAA'd myself out there. Everybody take a look at my HIPAA.
Yeah.
Gaze at my HIPAA. Anyway, good stuff.
My HIPAA.
We want to hear from you though, Dr. T, about what Brian
melatonin
said.
And if the dangers that we've been told, I just remember being told constantly that, oh yeah, you take melatonin, your body's going to stop producing it. But and maybe it's the case, like if I do 5 milligrams every night, then who knows?
Maybe overdoing it. Yeah, who knows? Studies are all. I always care about give me some firm hard facts if they don't exist yet. Somebody. I mean, because obviously right now we live in a real golden era of making sure research gets the dollars they need to get stuff done. It's a beautiful time to be alive, where nobody's defunding huge research in science or medicine.
Where science is always kept at the forefront of our priorities.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to make this country we live in great again.
Yeah.
So let's try that. Let's try that.
And not turn the White House into a Tesla dealership. Yeah, it's a great time to be alive.
Tesla. Oh man.
It's all computer.
Like Isaac Neutron. Anyway, let's get to some news. We have news to break. Yeah. We're breaking news here, everybody. Today's breaking news brought to you by
TMS Vegas. Tickets are on sale right now. Go get your tickets at tms.vegas right now.
Yeah, if it wasn't clear, get your tickets. Right now is key, because in a few weeks, well, more than that, but in not too long, you're out of luck, because it'll be happening and you won't be there to experience the grand nature of basking in the glow that is Brian and Scott in live form. Right?
Exactly. Yes. 41 days, Scott.
Yep.
41 days until TMS Vegas.
Yeah. A bunch of really great people coming. Why would you want to miss this? And they're cheap. I bet they're less than last year. I did shrinkflation. Wait, that doesn't work because that's when people's bags of chips are smaller.
Less for the same price.
Yeah, we're giving you more for less. There's more stuff happening this year. Deflation. For less than the tickets cost last year. And the swag is as good or better than last year. I think better. The stuff I'm putting in there this year.
Really cool.
Really good stuff. And all the stuff we're doing on site, great, and even better this year. And you won't even, I don't want to get into details because I don't want to spoil anything, but some of the people that are coming that you all know from shows and guest spots and all of that, that list is bigger than ever this year.
It is. Nicole, she's saying in chat right now, this is the first TMS Vegas that Nicole's been able to make it to.
No, she was there in 2018. She came.
Was she in 2018?
Yeah, okay. I have pictures of her and Jury and me and you. And,
right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. She probably forgot, but yes, you were here, Nicole, for that. But that was a very different.
She didn't forget. I think I'm the one who forgot.
That was a much different event back then, and
it was.
You're going to be getting to see her and a bunch of other faces. It's just going to be great. My sister Wendy's coming. All right,
I'll say this: it's the first time we're going to have Tom for the Wednesday show.
Oh shit!
For the live show.
That is 100% true. He usually comes in, does his little thing, and then bolts. Not this time.
Out. Yeah.
Not this time. You're going to be gazing at his HIPAA while he's there.
That's right. Amy, of course. TV's Travis.
Yeah.
Bill Duran.
Yeah.
Randy
Jordan.
This is going to be Randy's first. Am I making a mistake, or is this going to be Randy's first?
It's
TMS
100% his first TMS Vegas.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Want to make sure I wasn't getting that wrong.
He was here. He was here that year that we came before and just hung out, and we did. We went to the secret pizza place. I can't remember what all we were doing here.
Oh, right.
Do you remember that? It was just like a quick little whatever. He was here briefly for that.
Yeah.
And then
3/4 of film sack eating secret pizza.
Yeah,
it was great.
It was real good. I regurgitated some of it and sent it to Dunaway. He was fine.
I'm sure he was pleased.
Yeah, put it in a little bag, put it in the shipping thing, and send it off.
That's right. Yeah, Wendy, Bobby, of course.
Yeah. I know we're forgetting
Eileen.
people. Eileen Rivera. Oh,
Yeah.
man, that's going to be good. A lot of people's
Wendy.
significant others. Wendy, my sister Misha, I think, is also confirmed to be coming back.
Oh, nice.
So she'll be hanging out.
gosh.
There's some Wendy wants to do some kind of impromptu pickleball competition. I don't know how that's going to go. That's up to her. She'll deal with it. But
Remember when me and Misha got to not me, was it Misha?
I don't know.
Yeah, it
your
was
birthday,
Misha, right?
Your birthday.
Yeah, when we bumped into her in our skivvies at Mandalay Bay Pool.
Yep.
And took a picture together.
Yep, she just happened by Brian at the same hotel. She was at the MGM, and there was Brian celebrating his 50th.
Exactly, yeah.
Pretty great. So anyway, get them now, tms.vegas, while they survive. I don't know what that means. Oh, it's because this next article is about surviving. Hey, Chinese teen survives 10 days in a freezing mountaintop by eating toothpaste.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
God, that seems...
Not nutritional?
I'd say, what is in toothpaste that would constitute protein? Like, what would keep you alive about eating toothpaste?
I think it's
I guess we're going to find out.
Its great ingredient is better than nothing is the ingredient, I think, that kept him alive.
Yeah,
But anyway, an 18-year-old hiker from China was rescued after enduring 10 days in the freezing mountains of northwestern China. Struggling against harsh weather and limited resources, he managed to stay alive by consuming river water, melted snow, and toothpaste.
Okay.
The young adventurer, identified as Sung Lang, embarked on a solo trek on February 8th through the Qingling Mountains of the Shangji province. I think is how you'd say that. Shangzi.
I believe you.
Shangzi.
Shaanxi.
Known for its rugged terrain and rich biodiversity.
very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Rich biodiversity in this mountain. The mountain range has an average altitude of 2,500 meters. Is that high? I don't know if that's high. For us, though, for me and miles? You, because I think you and I are pretty close to that, right? Up in our mountains,
probably.
What's
no, that's not a lot. Wait a minute, 2,500 meters according to Google is 1.5 miles.
That's not that.
Yeah, okay.
That's not that much.
That is.
It's up
I mean,
there.
we've got 14ers, which is almost 3 times that amount.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I think we got them beat in that regard. Not saying it's still, it's a mountain, it's rugged terrain. We don't want to. We don't want Toothpaste Boy to feel bad. We're not saying we're better than him. Okay, I would probably die.
Less than double. So 8,000 feet is what that translates to. 8,202 feet. So less than. I mean, more than half of a 14er here.
Okay, so it's more than more than Snowbird, less than Brian Head for us. Brian Head's 10, I think. 10K.
Brian Head?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Brian Head's great. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It is. Brian, you'll never find better, never been better Brian Head than skiing in Brian Head. Anyway, it says here, however, his journey took a perilous turn when his electronic devices ran out of battery 2 days, later, and cut off all contact with his family. Lost in the wilderness, he followed a creek downstream in an attempt to find a way out. That is the thing you'd want to do. You follow the river.
Smart. Yep. Exactly.
Problem is, he fell a couple of times. Which led to fracturing his right arm. With no food to sustain him, he took shelter behind a large rock, using dry straw and leaves to insulate him against the bitter cold. His ordeal ended on February 17th, and a local rescue team found him. They did a search, found the guy, all that stuff.
It was just him and the contents of a FedEx truck.
Yep. And I just picture rolled up Crest tubes all rolled up to the tip, just laying around.
Right, exactly. Aquafresh for a little variety.
Yeah. But you know what? There is a little bit of, there's probably a little bit of sustenance in there. It's not, I don't even think it's sugar.
There's probably
it's like
sugar, which has got your, which has got a little protein, or not protein, but
does sugar have
calories in it?
Toothpaste has sugar? Let's see. Sugar and
Interesting.
toothpaste.
I mean, it does seem like it's counterintuitive, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
I think it
Must have some. What's the flavor from?
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Toothpaste paste may contain artificial sweeteners like sodium saccharin or xylitol, which are not the same as regular sugar and do not contribute to tooth decay. These sweeteners are added primarily to improve the taste of the toothpaste. So where's the nutrition coming from?
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem like you're going to get anything sustenance-wise out of toothpaste. You're better off like eating, the leaves or some vegetation or obviously he drank some of the stream water and river water that he came across, but dang.
Yeah, and you need what? Is it 30 days you can live without food, but you can only live like 3 days without water or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
And he was gone 10 days, so maybe the toothpaste played no role at all.
It was just a distraction.
Yeah, minty fresh is what it was.
That's right, yeah.
I don't know what they have in, maybe Chinese toothpaste is different.
Don't they, isn't there some may cause harm if too much is ingested or something on the
I would think so, but if
label?
they don't get into it, my guess is he's doing just like a little here, a little there. It's probably just enough to tell his body to go, oh, you're taking something in,
Yeah.
I don't know, convince your body that you're getting nutrients. Eventually that will run out, but I don't know.
Right.
It's a weird thing to eat. I'm trying to think. If I was lost and stuck up there.
Yeah, fluoride causes upset stomach, vomiting, and in severe cases, more serious issues. So yeah, hopefully he's being very
sparing,
only eating a little bit of toothpaste at a time.
Yeah, because I mean, every day, like this morning, I brush my teeth and I spit. Obviously, I spit it out, but you're going to retain a little bit. You're swallowing something.
You're technically eating some. Yes.
Yeah. So as long as he was careful, he'd be all right. Anyway, he's back. He's safe. He's recharged his phone. All is well. Good job,
Good.
Chinese teen. You did it.
He's purchased more toothpaste and he's fine now.
That's right. Let's move over to coffee, which probably would have helped him a lot on this trip.
I don't know. That dehydrates you.
Oh, does it? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think it does anyway.
Is that the caffeine does it, or?
I think so. Yes.
Did I tell you I did the T-Mobile Tuesday Panera Bread $3? Yeah, it's only $3 a month right now for 6 months.
$3 for 3 months. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went and did it, and Kim and I went. You know what? All right, first time in a Panera Bread for this. I've never been in one, and just for whatever reason, just never been to a Panera Bread. We go in there. Their menu is massive. They have so much stuff.
Yes. Yeah, they do.
And because I was a new card holder or membership thing, they gave me $5 off anything. So I had I had a delightful little dinner. Kim and I for way less money because we both had this new card thing. It was great.
Their their food, their pick two, their soup selections are really good.
Yeah.
Their sandwich stuff is great.
That's what we did. It was so good. I had their French onion whatever soup and then some kind of sandwich. It was fantastic. I'm not saying it's like, oh, I discovered Panera Bread. I know it's a chain. I know they're everywhere, but the staff was insanely helpful. I felt like they were like, hey, your stuff's ready. Come on over here. And they were just nice. And I don't know. I have a very good first impression of Panera Bread. And also these deals and sign-up stuff didn't feel like just giving my information for very little value. I felt like I'm getting real value out of these memberships. So I don't know. I was impressed with Panera
it's
Bread.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
It's it's good stuff.
I liked it.
Their lower calorie stuff is kind of minimal because they are a bread place and bread is just but still their egg white. They have a breakfast wrap that's like egg white and bacon or something that's really good. Yeah.
We got a place here I'm going to tomorrow called Big Ass Burrito. I'm so excited.
Oh, God, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Oh.
They go nuts. This is the kind of place that has breakfast burritos. They have all day stuff, but they have breakfast burritos that if you have to tell them how you want your eggs prepared that go in the burrito.
Really?
So if you want scrambled, great. If you want meat, you want them loose and gooey in there, no problem. They'll do however, like at any restaurant, they'll do however you want to do your eggs inside the burrito, and then you can add like chili in there. And they're huge. Kim and I are going to split one. I'm not eating the whole thing.
Yeah. No, you don't need your own big ass burrito.
I'm excited about it.
That's awesome. Yeah. By the way, we just got through a few episodes of we're watching the final season of What We Do in the Shadows, or last season and a half. I thought we were done with season 5. We still had like 3 or 4 episodes of season 5 to watch.
You're right where we are. Exactly where we are. Yeah, we're trying to do the same thing, Carter and I. It's funny.
Well, now we're on we just last night finished the 4th episode of season 3. We've decided, and I don't want to get too far off track, but we can only do 2 episodes of What We Do in the Shadows a night. That is not an easy one to binge because it is so crazy and off the wall. You want to savor it and not.
I agree. It loses a little bit of its edge if you're just pounding it.
Correct.
And yes. I don't agree. I don't think that's not a great way to watch that show. I would take your time.
Sure, no.
But 2's good, right? Because what, like half hour each, so you're.
Yeah, 2's perfect. An hour of that, and then we watched a movie that was in the Oscar thing. It's like another one that I kind of want to recommend till tomorrow, but I'm going to hold off. But anyway, we're in the episodes where Guillermo is hiding out at the Panera Bread.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I will wait for him outside the Panera Bread.
I love.
If there is one place I know Guillermo likes to hang out, is Panera Bread.
People always ask, like, who's your favorite character on there? And I'm like, I can't pick from my favorite children. They're all good.
They are all
everyone.
Great.
But if I had to pick, it's between Nandor and Matt Berry's character.
And Matt Berry.
Can't think of his name all of a sudden. But I love Colin Robinson, and I love Nadja. I love them all. I love everybody.
They're all there. It's a perfect. It is like a great casting for that show.
Everything about it, man.
Even Kristen Schall's addition, her character addition, has been a great addition to the show.
Yeah, she turned out to be pretty good for it. So
yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
well, that's the end of that story. We'll talk about coffee tomorrow. Instead, we're going to take a break and come back with Dan after this. Dan, the tabletop man, will be here. We got an email calling him out about something he promised a long time ago, and today I'm told he will be delivering today.
Okay, cool.
So anyway, stick around for that. Brian, why don't you tell us what song we're breaking it up with?
Sure. This is a band called Cleopatra, and it's all one word, Cleopatra. Nice little portmanteau there. This is their sophomore album. It's called Fake Moon. Just came out last week. Big thanks to Nowhere Special Recordings and 30 Tigers. They've just started this week their tour of the UK and Ireland. I don't know why those are broken out. Yes, because UK and Ireland are broken out, not Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland,
right.
UK, but UK Ireland is broken out. Right. Anyway, this is so glad Claire's not here to yell at me.
No kidding.
The caps lock key was in the process of being pressed. Oh, there she is, right there.
Oh shit! Well, she missed all the how come stuff, so everything's fine.
She did. It's like the Claire signal was just showing up into the sky, and she's like, "What? They're talking about Ireland."
Oh shit!
Anyway, their tour has just started. This is their big single, one of their big singles from Fake Moon. The song is called "Big Machine." Here is Cleopatra.
I'm not interested in what you figure, young mister. Right now, there may be some woman having a baby or some man with gangrene of the leg. People needing help right this minute.
Each of us must at some time confront the grim reality of growing old.
All right, we're back. Real quick before you tell me that song again. When we put the Claire signal up, is it a shamrock? Is it like a leprechaun? What do we put up there?
That's a really good question. It's not a bottle of gin anymore. It used to be a bottle of gin. Is it a gummy?
Oh, I like it. I like it. That's a weed gummy in the sky.
A weed gummy, basically.
Perfect. Take that, Claire. Hey, Brian, who was that again, that song?
Sure, that's the band Cleopatra, and their brand new album is called Fake Moon. It's excellent. That is one of the singles from it. It's called Big Machine.
Nice. All right. Well, there you have it, everybody. Let's get Dan in here. What do you think of that?
I'm not going to repeat what she just said in the chat.
No.
But gummy, but not necessarily a weed gummy is what she's saying. So.
Ew. I don't even want to look. I haven't looked.
You don't want to look. Don't look.
I'm not going to look. I'm not looking. I never look at you guys. I don't know. You're always saying something dirty. How can I look at you guys? I can't look at you. All right. Check this out.
Here's a tangent for you. Be careful, may cause drowsiness.
Well, that good news is that's true. And it's Dan, the tabletop man, joining us from North Carolina. Hey, man, what's going on?
Greetings, programs. How are you guys?
Good.
I guess the drowsiness thing is a good segue into being a pharmacist. We could talk about melatonin.
Let's talk about that really quick. Yeah, let's get a second opinion before we get our third opinion from Dr. Tolbert.
Yeah, tell us how that works, because I've been curious about this forever. Brian bringing it up today just renewed all my interest in it. Is it worth taking? Are they stupid? Like, where are we at?
I'll say this up front. I can't really speak a whole lot to CBD. I haven't really done a lot of research into it. I haven't done a lot of CE, so I can't really speak to CBD at all. But I can speak to you about melatonin and other sleep meds, but we'll stick to just melatonin today. Now, everybody's body is different, so we'll say that up front. All the time we love to say that. And melatonin is a naturally occurring substance in your body, and the levels do go up and down. Now, Brian, as you have been liking to do, you travel a lot.
I do.
So this could go into what is messing a little bit with your levels. Now, melatonin levels, as far as taking a melatonin supplement, is really good, especially when you go from different different time zones and stuff. And when you're traveling and when your bedtime is a little bit different, because your body naturally will spike melatonin usually about an hour, maybe a little bit less before your normal bedtime. So if you're kind of getting back into a rhythm, getting back home, let's just say from Vegas or something like that, you may want to take a little bit before your normal bedtime at home to get your body back into that rhythm. And it can help bring those levels up and help your body naturally get into sleep. Now, there's no real way. I mean, you're not going to take blood tests every day to find out if your melatonin levels are low. This is just something that just kind of works. So it's actually not a bad idea. Now, I think you guys were mentioning, if you give yourself melatonin, is your body going to produce it less?
Yeah.
Different substances. This is definitely something that's kind of come up in the last 20 years, and it is a definite possibility. I would think with melatonin, in my professional opinion, I think that's very unlikely, especially if you're not taking it I don't really like melatonin as a supplement every single day. I like it more to use when you're either having sleep disturbances or you are kind of traveling, getting back from a work trip or just having jet lag and stuff like that. Other things, for a while when I think it was about 20 years ago, I kind of bring this up every now and then with the calcium. Everybody was always big, everybody was the huge calcium thing about 20 years ago. We got to have this much calcium all the time. And then people were telling each other to use Tums for calcium carbonate to get calcium. That's a horrible idea. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Regular calcium supplement.
That seems odd to me. Also, Tums are chalky and gross. Why would you want to take those ever? Unless you need them for heartburn.
I hate taking them even when I have a stomach ache, let alone voluntarily.
The thought here really is, get it in your body however you can. Some people will pop Tums like they're candy, and some of them, again, they're chalky, but some people kind of they make those weird old candies, those little disc things that kind of almost look like and taste like Tums.
Yeah.
The thing is here,
Necco wafers.
Yes, those. Oh my God, they're nasty. So there is something to. And I like to say when people take PPIs too much, that's proton pump inhibitors like your omeprazole, your pantoprazole, and things like that, and your Nexium. So I think with that, there's definitely something to the possibility of once you're doing something for your body, it's going to be doing it less. Now, this is definitely a possibility. I'm not saying it's always going to happen. It's also just kind of a reason why I don't like to tell people to take those PPIs every single day. A lot of people will be like, I gotta take it or else I'll never be able to, my stomach is always, you just got to give your body a chance to do what it's supposed to do. Now, there's definitely uses for all those things, obviously ulcers and some GERD in here. But I always like to tell people, especially with things like that and things like melatonin, when you can, get off it for a while, give your body a little bit of vacation. And then when you need it, it's going to work. It's going to work wonders for you. This is exactly why sleep medicines are horrible for you, but when you need them, they're okay. Now, I'm talking about sleep medicine. I'm not talking about melatonin as a quote-unquote sleep medicine. That's a supplement that helps ease you into sleep. Sleep medicines, you're talking about Ambien, temazepam, things like that, even things as light as Benadryl. You do not want to take those every single day. Between tolerance, addiction, quote-unquote addiction. It's a stigma word, but it is kind of what's happening, Is
that like the nose? What's the nose stuff that you can, it's not
so Afrin.
Right. It's not addiction, but it's more like dependent, or you become, you'll have a physical reaction without it because you're used to it.
Exactly. So you get rebound congestion when you use Afrin too much, where your body's clamping down because it wants that a little bit more. Yeah. Now, when you use this when you're sick for 3 to 5 days and then just get off it, it's an amazing product because it does open you up. I mean, anybody that's used it will be like, oh my God, I can't believe I breathe this well. So, I mean, there are things like that do work. But again, the washout period is important. I tell people, there are people that I see at work that they've been on Ambien every single day for years and years and years. Now, I'm telling you categorically, don't do this. I know there's going to be somebody out there who's going to yell at me. I need it every single night. You really should only be using it 3 to 5 days, never more than. There's a reason why they want to limit you to 15 days a month. I still think that's a little bit much. Maybe 10 days a month is a good thing because again, you got to get your body not used to taking that to get to sleep. There's a lot of really good things you can do for sleep. I mean, you can decompress before sleep, get rid of all. I mean, we are a device-driven world. Get off the devices for a couple hours, read something. Listen, I have textbooks that will put you to sleep.
I'll bet you do. Yeah. I'll bet you got some board games with the rule books that put you to sleep.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah. Some of those dry soulless Euros and heavy Euros will definitely put you to sleep.
Yeah, go break out the Gloomhaven tome and read that thing right before bed.
Right.
Damn. So and for the record, in case someone's tuning in for the very first time, Dan's a pharmacist. He knows this stuff as well as anybody in the field. If it does, so let me ask you this on the reverse of it. So Brian had a pretty decent experience with the low dose yesterday of melatonin.
Yeah, actually, I did 5 milligrams before bed. And did not like if I did wake up in the middle of the night, I got back to sleep really quickly. It was not that like, oh, I'm awake, my mind is racing, I need to watch some Avatar: The Last Airbender to fall back asleep.
Right. So on the flip side of that, where I've taken it, there've been many times where I'm like, oh, let's try that. We'll see how that goes. And it does zippo for me. Nada. Nothing.
Well, how long did you give it a shot for, though, Johnson?
Probably a week or something. Mm-hmm. And it just never.
That's fair. I mean, that's a good amount of time to try it out. Again, you have consistency is key. Take it if you're trying to get yourself to sleep at 11 o'clock every night. Take it every night about 10:15, 10:30. Make your environment conducive to sleeping. Get yourself in there. Maybe read a chapter of something, and then just try to fall asleep. Doing good sleep habits and good sleep hygiene, as they call it, will definitely help. But again, it's not perfect for everyone. I mean, if your body's not really having any problems with melatonin levels, it's not a sleep med. It's not necessarily going to do that, but that is something that can be a cause of why you're not getting to sleep, is because your body's not being told to go to sleep. But I mean, you're a high drive dude, and you've got a lot of crap going on, and I'm sure there's a lot of stuff going on in your head. You're going to take, it might take you a little bit more of those exercises to bring yourself back down, to get yourself back to
high drive dude is my favorite ZZ Top album. I love that record. So good. I put it on repeat back in the day. All right. And the other thing I was going to say about sleep, there's some people, my mother-in-law is always telling people to take magnesium zinc supplements at night. So it's a combo of zinc and magnesium.
Yeah, I hear magnesium is supposed to be really good to help you sleep as well.
Does any of that work?
Well, the good thing about magnesium is it helps the body to absorb a lot of other nutrients. So this could help get your a lot of levels of a lot of different vitamins back to where they should be. Again, to help induce that that sleeping period where you're like, all right, your body's like, all right, we got every fuel we need. Let's conk out. And we'll go with this.
Oh, interesting. I didn't realize how it was conducive to sleep. I just knew that she was always, or whether, because my mother-in-law's had some ideas in the past. She was on that whole silver truck for a while, where everybody had to take doses of silver.
Gosh.
And then people started turning blue, and then suddenly she stopped talking about that as if it was the miracle cure she claimed it was. And so she's a little bit on that.
That was a big cure for rheumatoid. People were using a lot of that. Silver and gold used to be big for rheumatoid arthritis and such, because it works very well. But again, that you're going to get heavy metal poisoning, things like that they do have. It's kind of really funny. So I just got back from Adam, which was out in St. Louis, and on a flight back or while I was there, I got sick as hell for the next whole week. And my wife was giving me a dropper full of this silver crap under my tongue to swish around, which nowadays they kind of distill them. You're not going to get heavy metal poisoning from some of these different supplements they have. And this silver supplement does help for your immune system to get it up without a lot of the heavy metal side effects and things like that. And again, it's in such a microdose that it's just helping your immune system. And I did that about once a day, and she was taking it just to to fight off all the nasty germs I brought into the house. So I was, that doesn't help. Who the hell knows? I got better, whether it was from that or not, but it definitely, stuff like that does help a little bit, as far as supplementation.
Man, this year's flu season was a shithead. It's not fun. Nobody liked it.
It was. No.
Not that you ever like it, but it seemed pretty rough. All right. Well, let's move from that to this email we got from a listener.
Yeah.
It's actually a text. It says, "Ahoy, Scott." This is from Zarek, the Ohio Ass Warlock. It's in our raid team. Says, I always forget to text or call in about this stuff until Dan's segment, and then I think, I won't be here for another month anyway. I can wait a couple of weeks, and then I always forget. Luckily, he got delayed a week, which reminds me, LOL, months ago. Maybe even merely a month ago or a year ago. Dan promised he'd do a list of top solo board games on a couple of occasions. And you just went to something called Solo, so maybe, I don't know. Or no, is it Solo? What's it called? Oh, Adam. Sorry.
I went to Adam. Yeah. It wasn't Solo Get On or anything.
I don't know why I thought it was Solo. I knew it was 4 letters. Anyway, on a couple of occasions, and for whatever reason, that segment never actually happened, and I assumed it was forgotten. As someone who has a lot of opportunities to play board games with myself rather than others, I would love to hear about more solo experiences. Over the past couple of years, Marvel Legendary has been my go-to solo game. If Dan has time to actually cover this topic next week or some other future segment, I would love to hear it. Much love, says Zarek. So, do you have that list? Are we ready?
So let me tell you, the first thing about me, Zarek, is I'm the worst. So I'm sorry. I apologize that I never really followed through. I write these things down sometimes, and then I get lost on my desk, and I'm like, oh, I got to tell Johnson and Ibbott about this, and then I don't. I forget.
Well, you got hockey, you got events, you got trips, you got stuff. Yeah. You're a busy guy. Yeah. Fine.
So what I did was I put a good list together, and I'll try to fly through a lot of these. We'll talk about a couple of these a little bit more extensive, and then I'm going to list a bunch of them. And I know Brian often will put things up afterwards with some links and stuff. So Brian, I emailed you the list with the links.
I have your list right here in front of me. This is great, by the way. So yeah, I'm going to copy and paste this into quicktms.li.
So there's a few different things to think about too. So there are solo only games out there, and then there are games that you can play solo. Marvel Legendary is an amazing game to play solo. It's got a little bit of a setup that takes a while and tear down, so you better play it a few times. And then there's games like Sentinels of the Multiverse that if you're gonna play something like that solo, just use the app. I don't want to bother taking all that crap out of all the different things that I have out there. You have so much stuff for a game like that, and it's so much upkeep that you just might as well just play it on the app. Things like that, and Spirit Island, which is another good one, but there is an app for those things. But the new Freedom 5, which is just came out in December, which is in the Sentinels and Multiverse, but it basically combines Defenders of the Realm and Pandemic all into kind of one with that Sentinels and Multiverse sheen or theme to it is really, really good. There's a solo only game, one of the better ones from the last couple of years, called Under Falling Skies. It almost feels like Space Invaders. So you're rolling dice, kind of aliens are coming down from the top, and you're assigning your dice to different places to try and shoot down these different the aliens, obviously. And then there's a story mode where it's a really cool little kind of comic book feel to it, and different power-ups to there. If you like games like deck building games like Ascension and stuff like that, I love Ascension Tactics, which marries both Ascension and kind of a miniatures board game. It's a lot of fun. That came out a couple years ago. It's really good. Again, like you said, Marvel Legendary is really good. I'm a little biased to this one, Valeria Card Kingdoms, because I designed the solo version of this in the final version. Now, when we originally designed it, we just really kind of wanted to make it a way to learn the game and play the game of Valeria Card Kingdoms, but play it by yourself, maybe learn the game a little bit. But there's a few different ways where you can make it a little more difficult, because it is easy, but you're just trying to learn the game and play it there. Now, I really love, Johnson even mentioned it earlier, how much I love Gloomhaven and Frosthaven. Those are great games to play, especially solo. However, they can be a little lofty solo, because you're usually playing a two or three handed, so it makes it a little bit difficult sometimes to play those. But there are other kind of dungeon crawl or campaign games that do it a lot. I'd say a lot better as far as for solo. Iridia, The Paths That We May Tread, is amazing. I've got it set up on my game topper over here for about the last 2 months. It's an amazing kind of campaign experience, feeling like almost that fantasy world. Controlling 2 players is so easy. Agamonia, which is also
how do you spell Uridia real quick? What's Uridia spelling?
It's Arydia.
I put Dan's thing in the chat, so you can just copy and paste from there.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, just pulling them up for people live. Anyway, keep going, Dan. Sorry.
Yep.
Iridia is so good. It might already be my game of the year. That's how much fun it is to play, whether you want to play the solo or multiplayer. But I just love, when you just can't get together like 100 or 100 times to play some of these campaign games like Gloomhaven with somebody over 4 years, and you just want to kind of get through it over a month or two. And if you happen happen to have a game topper or a game table like that to be able to set these things up, it's great to kind of leave it set up, come back to it every now and then. So Iridia and Agamonia, which is another really good fantasy one, I'm three-handing that one, and it's a piece of cake. Some of them are a lot easier to do more than one hand. And when I say three-handed, that means not just playing one character, you're playing three characters at one time with one person. That's not hard at all.
Sure.
Slay the Spire is one of the best games on PC ever, and the board game is just as flippin' good. It was almost my game of the year last year. It's so good to play solo. It really works well. You can play it multiplayer. It takes a while, but if you like that already, I know a lot of people would be like, if I'm going to play Slay the Spire solo, I'm just going to do it on a video game. But I agree. It's fine, but it's so good. If you like tabletop games, Slay the Spire, you can't beat that.
Are you excited about 2, by the way? Slay the Spire 2 coming out in like a couple of months is all. I'm stoked.
Oh God, I can't wait for that to come out. I really want to see what they do a little bit different and see.
It looks like they got an actual artist this time. Somebody's doing real art for the thing, so that's nice. Because that is an ugly ass game.
Step in the right direction.
It's the one thing you can say about Slay the Spire. Incredible gameplay. The depth is insane. Everybody wants to copy it. They don't quite come close. Monster Train maybe is the closest I've come to enjoying it as much. But Slay the Spire's art style, ass. It's ass.
Kind of is. Yeah.
But Monster Train 2 demo is out too, by the way, Scott.
I know, dude. I love Monster Train so much. I'm very excited about that.
It's so good.
Yeah.
If you're a sports type person, there's a game called 11. That's a football or soccer if you're a crazy American like us. There's a football you can play this solo. It's kind of a GM simulation. It's called 11. It's by Portal Games. It's really good. There's a bunch of expansions for it, and it just plays seamlessly solo. I have a lot of fun playing that one. I am a huge heavyweight Euro player, so I love all heavy games. And the thing about those is sometimes they can be, they're not Johnson games. And while they are definitely Ibit games, I'd love to see if Ibit really likes some of these really heavy ones.
I was going to say, there is probably a limit to the heavy games that I like.
But we have to perpetuate the stereotype, Brian. We have to keep it going that I'm the dumb guy.
That's true, yes.
And that Brian's got this.
Johnson, Johnson, are you going to want to sit down to learn a 3-hour game about a zoo? Like,
no,
Ark Nova is one of my favorite games ever.
I am not going to do that. I'm not going to do.
Sure, I would either.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to learn those games. And then they're a lot quicker once you learn them. And also, Ark Nova is available on BGA if anybody wants to play that solo on there. But it plays really, really good solo and multiplayer. But it's one of my favorite solo games. And there's an expansion out now which adds a lot of good things to Ark Nova. So that's Ark Nova, which is great. And then my game of the year from last year, which is called SETI. That's the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. It's ridiculously good. It is also about 2.5 to 3 hours long, but it's awesome. So both of these games kind of take a little bit from the Terraforming Mars, lineage, if you will, with multi-use cards, kind of creating a tableau of things, but they play so well solo. SETI plays great solo. You're playing against kind of an AI, that kind of gets in your way, and they have multiple different levels of the difficulty as far as how it gets in your way. Whereas Ark Nova is more of kind of a score over a certain amount of time. SETI is more playing the regular game of 5 rounds, but the AI is getting in the way and giving you things you need to get done. Both of those games are amazing solo. Things like roll and writes, things like Ganshan Clever, That's So Clever.
I love That's So Clever. And the sequel, the purple. I got the blue box and the purple box, whatever the purple
There's That's So Clever, More So Clever, Triple So Clever. I think there's 4 or 5 of them now. Almost every one of them are available on an app, so they're perfect to play on an app solo, and they're really addictive, and they're a perfect toilet solo game because you can knock out a game of Ganshan Clever in in a small poop. You can get rid of it, play a whole game of that. But Cartographers is another really good roll and write, which can play solo. Things like Fleet the Dice Game and Three Sisters, which are a little bit heavier roll and write or flip and write type games. They're really, really good solo. There is another great kind of dice solo game that came out by Chip Theory Games. It's called 20 Strong. You're basically kind of a dice chucker, and your dice is your life. Man, it is so good. Ibit, you played that one?
I have played that one. Yeah, big thanks to Chip Theory Games for sending me a copy of that one. Love it.
Now, there's like 3 different kind of little mini expansions. There might be more now, but there's 3 that I have that kind of change it up a little bit. There are varying degrees of difficulty in each one of those. They even have kind of the Too Many Bones is one of them, which is really good, but it's really hard. But it's really good. It's fun dice chucker. You just kind of set it up. roll some dice. I think Hippolacus is another one of their other ones that was really good as far as the 20 strong. I can't stress those enough. If you already like kind of the Marvel theme, Marvel Champions plays really well, whether you're playing with one hero or multiple heroes, and it just plays really good. And there's so many damn heroes out for it, so many damn expansions out for it, as far as, and great for solo play. Absolutely great game. If you do like the kind of a little bit more intense or kind of maybe depth ones, Nemo's War. We all love 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, but if you want to play as Nemo in a solo game, it's a little weighty, but people really dig Nemo's War for that kind of great, the deep gameplay.
Are any of these games on this list? Are any of them non-multi? None of these are like exclusive solo games, or is that even a thing?
So far, the only ones I mentioned that
20
are
strong is solo.
20 strong is all solo all the time.
Okay, all solo. Yeah.
Yep. Right. And so is Under Falling Skies. And the last only solo one I'll mention is Final Girl. This is where you're playing kind of as like the, I guess, heroine. Trying to stay away from the a killer in like a Jason type thing, and it's a solo only game that is amazing. They put out a bunch of different versions for this for Final Girl. It's really good. Transformers deck building game and GI deck building game both play solo better than you could ever possibly imagine. But they're really, really good to play solo. And then an old classic, I'll finish up here. I've got two more real quick. Mage Knight is an old classic that is a big-time sprawling kind of fantasy game. It is a little heavier. They have an Ultimate Edition that is a classic to play solo. And then one that came out a couple years ago, Lost Ruins of Arnak, which is kind of deck building in a board game fashion, is one of my favorite games. This is one of these really cool things. So publishers are really starting to get into the fact that people love solo and solo campaigns. So on their CGE, on their app, and on their kind of web store, they have a solo campaign that you can play right there with having the Lost Ruins of Arnak. And then they've put out other expansions that have had other great kind of solo content and solo campaigns way to play. These games are just amazing solo. I hope just check out any of them. If you ever have any questions about them, always hit me up. I'm now on Instagram, guys. I don't know what's gotten into me. I'm on Instagram now at the Geek All Stars. So if anybody has any questions about games or solo games, I've always said that I don't stay on Twitter out of any sort of reason other than the fact that I'm old and lazy, and I don't really like to get into a million different socials. It's not a stance on anything. It's just because it's what I've done for however many years.
Sure.
So now after being back from Adam, everyone was like, "What's your Insta? What's your Insta? What's your Insta?" I'm like, all right. I'll start another one. Now, so if everybody can please go out and follow me on Instagram to give me a reason to just keep posting some stuff. I've been putting some reviews up lately, as far as just pictorial reviews of things that I played at Adam a couple weeks ago. So, yeah. So nice. Hopefully, I know I talk fast, everybody. I like to get into a lot of things, but when Ibit gets those links, the post up, I've got a bunch of links to BGG on them.
Sure.
They're posted. Yeah. They're it's all on quicktms.li, and it's a great list. I mean, I've been going through a couple of these until I picked up the cat. No, these are great.
These look great. How was Adam? I hear good things about that event, that show. Did you like it?
So it's really cool. It's the Agora for Tabletop Opinionated Minds, and we had a great time. It's at that Gamers Ranch, which is in Missouri. That place is ridiculous how big it is, and it's even better when you see it in person. It's got like its own man-made lake. It's got a disc golf course on there, and it's got 3,000 games, pinball machines, big, huge Lego table, a PS5. They've got a little miniatures painting station. It's unreal. And then all the people, great kind of content creators, both new and old, came out there. Man, we just had an absolute blast.
Sounds like a good time. Yeah, just keep hearing like great stuff about it as an event, and I know it's not new.
Yeah, and what's cool is, so guys like us, I mean, you guys have obviously been around forever, and I've been doing the Geek All Stars since 2011.
We're very old.
We are all old. Yeah. So, but it's interesting when you see, there's obviously the old guard and a new guard. So there was only a couple people that I knew going into Adam, and it was like 25 content creators and publishers, and meeting so many new people. It's I don't want to say new. They're kind of new. When you say new to the content space, maybe within the last 5 years, where we've been, I've been doing this since 2011 for the Geek All Stars. When you meet kind of newer people, seeing their reactions to kind of being part of the scene for that amount of time, people that that commonplace people that each other, you each know from different ways, and it sounds cliche, but it's reinvigorating, your love for content creation, where sometimes things can get commonplace, or I want to say stale, but you just kind of go through the motions and doing, you're still enjoying what you're doing and hopefully putting out good content, but just kind of talking to new, again, I don't want to put anybody down by calling them new. That's not what I'm trying to do, but just newer people to me that I maybe have never heard of, and, new to the content space. It was amazing to meet such great people and create such good friendships.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Plus, you're, old hat in that world, and they're probably like, oh, it's Dan. I'm going to go talk to Dan. He's the geek jock guy. He doesn't like new social media networks, but he's cool. I really want to talk to him.
No, I love the new social media networks. I'm just too lazy to create.
No, I get it.
When you get a certain following, man, who wants to start at zero?
No, I'm with you, dude. I freaking hate it too. I wish we could all just settle on one. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. But the fact that it's just now that an Instagram account is happening tells me how long you all going to have to wait for his Blue Sky account for any of these others.
I actually have a Blue Sky account too. I haven't done anything on there at all, but I did reserve my Blue Sky. I am the Geek All Stars in Blue Sky. So hey, if you want to get me over there, follow me and give me a reason to get my butt over there.
Yeah, at least 2-3 years from now, he'll use it. Yeah.
Exactly. It's daunting to see 0 as a follower listener. Like, oh man, I'm never going to do this.
It is a little daunting. I agree with that.
We got to make sure you're added to the one-click lists where people can follow.
Oh, the starter packs, yeah.
Starter packs, yeah. Let's make sure that I'll talk to Tanner about adding you to the starter packs.
Yeah. Nice, I appreciate it.
Because we got 3 Frog Pants starter packs, and I don't think you're on one, so we'll make sure you get on there. It's pretty cool because they can just mass follow everybody with one click. It's really great.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, and it's like I said earlier, I'm the worst. So I mean, after not following through with these lists, I'm just the worst. You don't want to follow me.
That's all good.
Shoot me a link to your thing after the show here, and I'll make sure you get it.
Absolutely.
Sweet.
Appreciate it, boys.
Thanks, man. Have a fantastic month till we see you again, and may all your board games have minimal documentation. Bye now. All right. There's that.
Darn right. Yep.
Okay. Only real note I have here at the end is Skim today at noon. All right. If you're like, man, I sure would like to hear a married couple talk bullshit. Good news. Noon today Mountain Time, progpants.tv. Kim and I will be recording a live show, so come check us out if you are so inclined. That's going to do it for today's show. QuickTMS.li is where Brian just put all that information. So Zarek and everyone else interested in that solo list, you can get it there. I know it's a lot to take in on audio, so make sure you go check it out on the links.
Just watching you try and keep up typing with all the stuff he was going through was...
it was brutal. I couldn't do it. I gave up after a while. It's too many.
Yeah.
But then everything else can be found at frogpants.com/TMS, including that new hot way to contact us. That's right. All the kids are talking about it. Voicecast.app/TMS. Voicemails, texts, and more. Well, not really. It's just those 2 things. But they're great, and it's easy, and it's free, and you don't have to sign up or anything. It's just so dumbly easy. I freaking love this thing. So go use it and use it frequently. That's going to do it for us today. Brian, let's play a song and get them the F out of here.
Let's do that. Talia wrote in. She said, hi, scrupulous and biblical. I'm getting married on Friday. At the end of the week, I'll be in a room with a small audience getting hitched to the love of my life, Sarah. Since we're both gay and nerds, we connected over the requested song during our relationship, so this was a no-brainer to be included as one of the songs we'll play at our small ceremony. I'll leave it to the totally not a coward to make the final decision, but whatever he chooses ought to be pretty. J'adore la série quand même. I'm sure I butchered that. Signed Tally.
Nice.
Well, congratulations, first of all. That's so awesome.
That's great. So Congrats, you guys. I didn't even know that was happening, so that's really good to hear. Love that.
Yeah. All right. So not a coward. That's fine. I'm going with this one right here. This is The Promise, Sarah's theme from Final Fantasy 13. 8. V, not X. I mean X, not V. Final Fantasy 13. This is performed by Yui Morishita. And you can find it actually on the Square YouTube site. Really, really cool piano cover of The Promise. Here is Yui Morishita.
Oh, my goodness gracious. These shows are so contagious. Find more goodies at frogpants.com.
Maybe we could stuff your Aunt Dimitri in there, huh?